In the final months of World War II, small groups of German female auxiliaries and nurses were temporarily processed as POWs by the United States Army. Many of them had spent their entire lives hearing propaganda from their regime, especially about black Allied soldiers. But when they finally encountered black American troops for the first time, the moment shocked them. Stay until the end to learn about the moment these women realized everything they'd been taught was a lie and how it changed them forever. The collapse of the German philosophy. Spring 1945. Germany was falling apart. American forces pushed across the Rhine, capturing towns, hospitals, communication posts, and field headquarters the Germans abandoned in a rush. Among the prisoners were small numbers of women, telephone operators, Red Cross nurses, anti-aircraft auxiliaries, medical clerks. Not frontline fighters, but people swept up by the tide of retreat. Most had never seen an American soldier before, and none had ever seen a black American soldier. For years, radio propaganda had filled their world with grotesque lies, caricatures, warnings, fear, a worldview built on racial inequality so deep they had never questioned it. Now those beliefs would be tested, captured, confused and waiting. In a makeshift holding area outside a captured German town, about 24 female detainees sat on blankets or crates, exhausted, hungry, uncertain of their fate. American guards, mostly white GIs, kept watch. A rumor spread. A convoy from a supply unit was coming to transport them. Then someone whispered, "They say some of them are black soldiers." The reaction was instant. Some stiffened, others looked terrified. A few muttered the same warnings drilled into them by their instructors and propaganda films. One woman, barely 20, whispered, they said they hurt women." Another shook her head. "No, that cannot be true, can it?" They didn't know. How could they? Their entire world had been filtered by one regime, and now reality was rolling toward them on wheels. The convoy arrives. The sound of approaching engines echoed down the road. 2 American trucks rounded the bend, both from a segregated quartermaster company crewed by black soldiers. The women froze. The trucks stopped. Dust settled. The US soldiers hopped off the tailgates, stretching, laughing, complaining about rations, completely unaware of the tension they had just walked into. The German women had expected something monstrous, something violent, something cruel. But what they saw were just men. Young men, tired from the road, joking about whose boots were worse, whose sergeant yelled louder. Normal human beings. It contradicted everything they'd been told. But the most shocking moment came next. The first contact. A black sergeant stepped forward. He looked at the group of German women, frightened, huddled, exhausted. Then he said in calm, clear English, "Ladies, the trucks are ready. No need to be afraid. We'll get you food once we reach camp." The German interpreter translated. The women looked stunned. Food? For them? Kindness? From soldiers they'd been taught to fear? One older auxiliary muttered under her breath, "Why is he being polite?" Another said quietly, "This cannot be real." But it was real. And the surprise didn't end there. The moment everything broke. As the detachment prepared to load them onto the trucks, one German woman struggled with a heavy bag, the last possession she had left. A black American private stepped forward and said, "Madam, let me help you." She jerked back in shock. Propaganda had told her he was dangerous. Reality showed him offering to carry her belongings. He simply smiled and picked it up anyway, placing it gently onto the tailgate. Then he offered his hand to help her climb aboard. She hesitated. Then slowly, cautiously, she took it. And in that instant, something inside her broke, not in fear, but in realization. A lifetime of indoctrination shattered in one gesture of humanity. For the rest of her life, she would recall that moment as the first time she understood how deeply she had been lied to. On the road. As the truck rumbled toward the processing camp, the atmosphere subtly shifted. The black soldiers talked among themselves, about home, about the heat, about baseball, about missing good food. They didn't speak harshly. They didn't threaten. They didn't even seem interested in the women beyond doing their job. The German detainees exchanged nervous glances. Then curiosity. Then something like respect. One woman finally whispered to another, "They treat us better than I have expected." Another nodded, "That's not what we have been told." The ride continued in reflective silence. History was being rewritten inside their minds, rewriting a lifetime of lies. When the trucks reached the temporary holding camp, the women were given blankets, water, and the first real food many had eaten in days. The black American soldiers unloaded their gear, tired but efficient, and moved on to their next assignment. No cruelty, no harassment, no humiliation, just standard duty and basic human decency. The German women watched them leave, some still in disbelief, some quietly ashamed. One nurse years later confessed in an interview, "They treated us with more dignity than we have expected from them." And that, more than any speech, any pamphlet, any Allied broadcast, is what destroyed the last remnants of German ideology inside many German civilians. Not force, not lectures, just kindness from the very people the propaganda machine had looked down. The legacy of that moment. For many of these detained women, that encounter became a turning point. The moment they realized that the world outside Germany was not the monstrous caricature they'd been taught. Black American soldiers, despite serving in a segregated army and facing discrimination at home, extended dignity to people who had been raised to hate them. History rarely gives us scenes so painfully ironic and so deeply human. And sometimes the most powerful way to dismantle a lie is simply to stand there as proof that it isn't true. This is a true World War II story, because sometimes one single human interaction can shatter years of propaganda. Do you agree? Let us know in the comments and subscribe for more true World War II stories.